Okay, so let's say now that you've gone through all of your input screens, you're ready to run a simulation. In BEopt version 2, there's some additional capability available if you're running optimizations. So I'm going to go back to the options screen, and I'm going to switch to optimization mode. And so let's say I had gone through these categories and I was investigating whether I should insulate my walls or not, or maybe put on some wall sheathing, etc. So I've gone through a number of categories, selected a number of options, made them available for optimization. When I click run, you get the run dialog just as you do in BEopt version 1, but there's this little more button. And what we now have the ability to do is to optimize over different metrics. So in BEopt version 1, it was always optimizing over the one cash flow metric that we provided and the one source energy savings metric that we provided. Now you could actually choose to optimize over additional metrics. And at the moment, we built in the capability to do it. We don't have too much flexibility aside from site versus source energy, but we are actively adding a number of new metrics that will show up in a future release in terms of things like carbon, TDV, life cycle cost, net present value. We're going to be expanding this set quite a bit so that you'll be able to optimize over different metrics. And what we'll see then is beyond being able to optimize over different metrics, you can still display on the output screen any one of these metrics. You can optimize over source energy savings, but then you could actually choose to view, let's say, site energy savings. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to open up one of our sample files here. It's the sample new construction optimization file, and this is a file that we ship with BEopt. And so this file has a couple optimization cases in it for different climates, both O2 and Energy Plus, and it has all the output for those files as well, so we could immediately look at some of the output. So here's an optimization we ran, new construction for Chicago using Energy Plus. I'm just going to go directly to the output screen. As you'll see, the output screen fairly similar looking to the BEopt version 1 output screen, but there's a number of improvements here. So if I right-click on this graph, you can specify again what X and Y metrics you want to display. So even though we optimized over source energy savings, and so all of our points are coming out above this lower cost curve, if I were to now choose to display site energy savings, it's a fairly similar curve, but you can see you're definitely getting points now on a site energy basis that fall below the curve. And you could also look at rate of return instead of our normal sort of cash flow energy related costs. So as I say, once we have more metrics that we ship with BEopt, it'll probably be a little more useful, but the idea is still that at any point you can switch to any of these metrics to view that data in that way.
But some of the examples that you were showing, Scott, like the rate of return, where there's points, or even here, where there's points on the, where the boundary indicated by the black points and the black line doesn't capture the best possible designs. So that would be an indication that you might want to re-simulate and re-optimize with the chosen metric so that you'll get a better set of optimal results.
Right.
So this being able to switch after the fact is kind of a shorthand sort of thing, but it doesn't give the equivalent result when you change the metric that you would get if you actually re-simulated and re-optimized.
Yep, that's a good point. And one other, so I guess while I'm here I can show, for those of you asking about HVAC capacities, when you have a point selected, here's where the heating and cooling capacities show up, and there's a little bit of a shorthand showing you that so the reference here had 3.28 tons, and we were able to downsize in this example to 1.97 tons for cooling and likewise for heating. So for any point that you select, you'll get that heating and cooling capacity information down here on the right-hand graph.
I'll just mention that for some people on the webinar, there is a scroll bar on the right side of your screen that is not the BEopt scroll bar. It's part of the display. And so if things are cut off at the top and the bottom, you may want to use that scroll bar.
That's probably specific to what your resolution has set out relative to mine, so not everybody will see that scroll bar.
Right.
Okay. I'll just briefly mention, at the moment it's probably something more of interest just for Building America individuals, but the new version of BEopt does have the ability to generate what's called an HPXML file using this little icon here. HPXML is a standardized file format that sort of provides a standard definition of the characteristics that make up a building, such that you can exchange information between different software programs, or you can collect data in a standardized and make that available. At the moment, HPXML is approaching version 1, but it's not there yet, so we're using a pre-version 1 version of HPXML. And at the moment, the intent here is that we're trying to push data from BEopt for the given point that you selected, generate an HPXML file, and put those building characteristics into a repository of house characteristics that we've been working on. So as HPXML itself develops, this will probably be something that'll be much more, I guess I would say, functional, and also you'll probably see it showing up in other software tools as well as a way to sort of an interoperability